Shame on you and your globalist counterparts. You're scumbag. You're an absolute scumbag. Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdsson of World Alternative Media here, and recently I found myself in a bit of a media blitz after going to a Trudeau press conference and calling him a scumbag. I figured I'd set the record straight, as his story is soon forgotten. I waited several hours to confront him on the carbon tax, waited patiently for children to leave the room, and went to get my question in. It turns out, being alternative media, I wasn't able to ask him a question. The state-run media got to ask him questions, pre-screened ones at that. Standing there for hours, tired, dehydrated, hungry, I would not have it. I went to plan B. Between questions, I blurted out my question, to which he tried to stop me.
Larry Kush with the Winnipeg Free Press.
There's a mic right there, sir. There's a mic right there, sir, if you want to get to your lawyer.
How do you feel about that?
Sir?
Larry Kush with the Winnipeg
Yes, Larry.
Free Press. With an expected influx of asylum seekers.
As security attempted to remove me, I stood my ground and waited for him to finish answering another question before continuing to question him. Eventually, security was getting far more harsh with me and made me move. I walked in front of the cameras and called him out again. I tried to buy myself as much time as humanly possible, but watching him arrogantly smirk as he talked about how much he cared about poor families after a scripted photo op with children made me sick. There are millions of people out there whose lives are being thrusted into a bottomless pit of debt and, of course, destruction of civil liberties. I had to call a spade a spade. So as security rushed me out of the room, I called him a scumbag and shamed him for his work representing the United Nations and his globalist counterparts instead of actual individuals. I regret nothing. Next thing I knew, I was all over the media across Canada. One of the biggest stories of the day. It was insane. While around 90% of people supported what I did, I found myself getting many death threats, which isn't unusual for me to get considering my job, but it was more than usual. It's alright though, I shrug it off. I said what millions of Canadians wanted to say to him. And full disclosure, I'm a libertarian, I'm a voluntarist, I'm an anarchist. I attempted several times to confront Stephen Harper as well. I've confronted Trudeau in the past over Bill C-51. I stand for individual liberty and separation from collectivism. So I'm simply being consistent. Many people ask, how is it journalism to call him a scumbag? Well, calling a bad person a scumbag isn't exactly opinionated. When you know what he's responsible for, there's nothing wrong with calling him out. Besides, when it comes to the mainstream media, everyone is opinionated in the mainstream media. They just pretend not to be, and then they spin a story in a certain direction, which is dishonest. I am openly opinionated, and I tell people what I think, and if they don't want to watch me, they don't have to watch me. Simple as that. So my question in return is, how is it journalism to ask pre-selected questions of a politician? And if anyone saw the blitz from the media, the CBC, CTV, Global, Huffington Post, Chris D, City News, they all just copied and pasted the same article and called it their own. They didn't do a second of investigation by looking me up to see I've confronted Trudeau before, and I'm not just claiming to be a member of World Alternative Media in lowercase. I'm the founder, and alternative media is destroying the dinosaur media. In fact, alternative media is set to surpass mainstream media in viewership in the next 2 years. Despite being the biggest story online for CTV on social media, they didn't even mention me on their broadcast. CBC made it look like I started swearing at Trudeau in front of children, which is absurd. This is why the mainstream media is dying. As for Trudeau, ignoring the plight of millions as he destroys rural communities, doing pay-for-play with Chinese bankers, implements bail-ins, continues a quantitative easing in fractional reserve banking, restricting opposition, restricting free speech, taxing people on the air they breathe, causing the poor to choose between heating their homes and buying groceries, pretending to stand for women while sending money to governments and dictatorships who stone women to death for driving and kill gays. Now that is the definition of scumbag. Oh, and by the way, how do you know that Justin Trudeau doesn't identify as a scumbag? All of you sending me hate are perpetuating bigotry. In the end, I'm happy I got people talking about the carbon tax. And now, the story is over on this confrontation, and I'm moving on to my next big attempt to educate the public and turn some heads. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can check the links below. Go find me Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated. And of course, check our address for Bitcoin in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you so please. Stay tuned for much more. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.